Dale Earnhardt Jr. isn't holding back anymore. Not on NASCAR. Not on the people who defend it. Not even on old friends. He's speaking his truth, raw and unfiltered, and it's sending shockwaves through the sport he helped build. You see, something's been boiling underneath the surface of stock car racing since the day the next-gen car hit the track. What was supposed to be a revolution has become a disaster in slow motion. And now, Dale Jr., the face of modern NASCAR, the man carrying the Earnhardt name like a sacred flame, is standing up to the system. Not quietly, not politely. Loud, clear, and brutally honest. I really respect Kyle. I think the world of him, and I appreciate his opinion, Earnhardt said on his podcast. But I would just disagree that the car doesn't produce what I expect. A diplomatic start, but that's where the pleasantries ended. Because what came next was a direct shot at everything NASCAR claims this car was built for. The car does not produce the kind of racing that I know we are capable of at road courses and short tracks, Dale said. And I would not stop at trying to achieve amazing great racing at those style tracks. That's not just a critique, that's a mission statement, a declaration of war on mediocrity. And it didn't sit well with Kyle Petty, who took to the Performance Racing Network to push back. He aimed his sights right at Junior's comments. We had one of our prominent members of the NASCAR community, Dale Jr., criticize the next-gen car the other day. I don't think that criticism is deserved in a lot of ways, Petty said. He brushed off Dale's concerns as just another nostalgic rant. People complained in the 70s. They've complained all along. This car jumped leap years ahead. We have to adjust to it. But here's the thing, Dale Jr. isn't just another old-timer longing for the past. He's been at the center of NASCAR's evolution. He knows what great racing looks like, and he knows when something's gone wrong. That's why fans, real fans, are siding with him. After Watkins Glen, the internet lit up with frustration. Race after race, road course after road course, the promise of thrilling, edge-of-your-seat action keeps getting swallowed by single-file parades and forgettable finishes. Dale doesn't want to accept that as the new normal. He refuses. And he's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for the sport. Going back 75 years, the car doesn't produce the kind of racing that I think should be our standard, he said. That line cuts deep, because it's not about nostalgia, it's about standards. It's about not letting what made NASCAR great get buried under corporate excuses and shiny bodywork. But just when the spotlight seemed to be burning hot on the next-gen drama, another firestorm exploded, this time in the Xfinity Series. Austin Hill, driver for Richard Childress Racing, came back from a one-race suspension after wrecking Aric Almirola, and just like that, he was in the middle of another wreck. At Watkins Glen, Hill made contact with Michael McDowell fighting for second place. McDowell slammed the wall, 16 cars got caught up in the mess, and dirt filled the air like a battlefield smokescreen. Chaos, again. Did Hill feel bad? Not even close. I know that when I go to my grave way down the road that it wasn't done on purpose, he said. No apology, no regret. And according to Dale Jr., that's exactly how RCR wanted it. Austin and them feel like they got dead wronged, Earnhardt said. Austin Hill did not come to the Glen with his tail between his legs in remorse. RCR didn't. Richard don't. Then he dropped the hammer. They're of the mindset that y'all fucked us over, man. Round 2, motherfucker. Here it comes. Let that sink in. Dale Earnhardt Jr., whose father built his legacy with RCR, is now calling out the team for their bare-knuckle mindset. Not just once, not with hesitation, but with full-throttle honesty. They don't put up with shit, he said, and it's tearing him apart inside. Because for Dale, RCR isn't just a race team. It's family. It's history. It's home. Richard is still like family. Austin, we all talk. We're bonded. But that bond? It's under strain. And Dale can't hide it anymore. When Dale Earnhardt Jr. says it's tearing him up inside, he means it. Because for him, this isn't just about broken cars or bad racing. It's about watching a sport he loves, the people he trusts, turn into something he barely recognizes. It's about feeling like you're screaming into the void while the system just keeps marching forward, deaf to the voices that matter most. And that's where this story takes a darker turn. Because it's not just NASCAR ignoring fans and drivers anymore. It's NASCAR picking sides. When Austin Hill wrecked Aric Almirola at Indy, NASCAR threw the hammer down. A one-race suspension, points stripped, public embarrassment. But after the 16-car wreck at Watkins Glen, nothing. NASCAR's VP of competition, Elton Sawyer, brushed it off like it was just another oops moment. "We don't see anything at this time," he said. "Just a racing incident. Case closed. No penalty, no accountability, no consistency." To Dale Jr., that silence speaks louder than any fine or suspension ever could, because it shows what happens when NASCAR loses control of its own rules and its own image. "I don't love the NASCAR world where Richard is mad at NASCAR," Dale admitted. "I grew up where RCR is like family. They are great people. But this version of NASCAR, this version pits teams against the sanctioning body, pits legends against legends, and pits Dale Jr. against everything he thought the sport stood for." The thing is, Dale isn't just mad. He's disappointed. Disappointed in a system that seems more focused on protecting its product than protecting its soul. Disappointed that passionate voices like his get brushed off as nostalgic. Disappointed that some fans are starting to tune out, not because they don't care, but because they care too much. And here's the irony. Kyle Petty says we need to adjust to the new car, that this is just the natural progression of racing, that the old complaints are just part of the deal. But Dale? He's not buying that. Because progress doesn't mean lowering your expectations. It doesn't mean accepting boring races on legendary tracks. And it sure as hell doesn't mean leaving behind the roots of what made NASCAR worth fighting for in the first place. So now we're left with two paths. One where people like Dale keep pushing, keep demanding better, keep challenging the comfort zone, and one where we keep hearing excuses while great tracks turn into snooze fests and the rulebook shifts like sand. You tell me, which one do you want? Because right now, Dale Jr. is choosing the hard road. He's not staying quiet. He's not backing down. He's not sugarcoating it to protect friendships or legacies. He's saying what fans are screaming online, what drivers are whispering in the garage, and what NASCAR doesn't want to admit. This version of racing isn't good enough. "The car does not produce the type of racing that I think should be our standard," he said. Not a suggestion. A warning. He wants more. For the fans. For the drivers. For the history that built this sport. And that's why his words matter so much more than a throwaway quote in a podcast. He's risking friendships. He's standing against his own roots. And he's doing it because he still believes NASCAR can be better. But the real question now is, does anyone else? Because if the most beloved voice in racing is being shrugged off, who's really in charge? The fans? The drivers? Or a system too proud to admit it's lost its way? Let me know what you think. Is Dale Jr. fighting the good fight? Or is he stuck in the past? And more importantly, does NASCAR have the guts to listen before it's too late?